What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Talk Sports with BJX. And it's Conference Championship Sunday, and we have two explosive matchups from the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals out of the AFC, and the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers out of the NFC. And in this video, we're going to talk keys to success, what you have to do and what you cannot do. You got the two best teams from the NFC and the two best teams from the AFC. Simple as that. So let's start in the NFC. And I want to start with the 49ers. The 49ers have had the best defense in the league since day one. Now, I mean, there was some blemishes on their record and some games where they gave up a bunch of points. But they're here, and that's all that matters. They have the best linebacking core in the NFL, and Fred Warner and Greenlaw. And those guys can get after it. Sideline to sideline, they cover, they tackle, and they pump their teams up. Now, my biggest thing with the 49ers is that secondary. I know they have, I think, in my opinion, the best safety in the league in Hufanga. And there's Jimmy Ward out there. But other than that, I think that secondary is pretty leaky. So it's going to be up to that defensive line, Greenlaw and Fred Warner, to make plays happen in the trenches. And over in Philly, I mean, what can you say, but they have the most explosive offense in the NFC. And they have weapons. And A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, Miles Sanders, those guys are explosive and at any time can go off on any team. And yes, I'm talking about the 49ers too. But their weapon X is Jalen Hurts. And I know everybody's saying he's not playing 100%. He's around 70, 80. He had a week off. They're talking about he might be 85. Well, you're on the field. And if you're on the field, all bets are off, kid. You are 100% and you have to play like that. Nobody is going to say, oh, well, he was hurt at the end of the day. No, you were on the field. So go ahead and ball out like you usually do. This game is super hard to pick. I mean, there's keys all over the place that you have to do in order for the other team to not, roll you over. I think both teams can blow each team out, and it could be a track meet. So my keys for the 49ers is you got to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hand quickly. When he's sitting back there and he has a chance to decide where he's going and if he needs to get out of the pocket and scramble for 5 yards, it's going to be a long night for that defense. So that defensive line has to get after him. They got to make him uncomfortable. They're going to have to make him get the ball out quickly because when he's extending plays, I think that's when he's at his best. And for the Philadelphia Eagles, that offense has to show up. It just has to. You've been explosive all year, so you need to be explosive right now. When all the chips are pushed into the middle of the table, this is where you make your money right here in the NFC Championship game. Now, everybody's like, what about the Eagles defense? They're okay. I'm just going to say they're okay. They're not a top-notch defense that I'm afraid of, but they can get stops, and especially with Brock Purdy. That defense, if you could turn Brock Purdy over a couple of times, it's going to be hard playing catch up with a team so explosive like yourself. The Eagles have all the tools to be great and win this game. Now for the 49ers offense, weapons. Christian McCaffrey, you got Mitchell, you got Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, weapons. But the thing is Brock Purdy has to get the ball out quickly. Those are my keys for them last game, and they did that, and they beat the Cowboys. They didn't score a lot of points, but they utilized their weapons, and their weapons got first downs when they needed to. They scored touchdowns when they needed to, and they held on to the ball. And he didn't turn it over. He was upright most of the game. Now, over to my favorite matchup of the week. This is going to be the game of the week. And there's no comparison. You have two elite quarterbacks, number 1 and number 2, going head to head. Now, we all know Patrick Mahomes is hobbled with the ankle. But there's some people around us saying, they can't tell a difference from a hobbled Patrick Mahomes to a unhobbled Patrick Mahomes. because of the performance he put together against the Jaguars. Let me make something very clear to you. The Jaguars aren't the Bengals. And their defense is a lot better than that Jaguars defense. And they have shown it over the last 3 times they've played by beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe Burrow is 3-0 in the last year against those Kansas City Chiefs. And the line is saying right now that the Bengals are going to win a close one. But I don't think it's going to be that close. My keys for the Cincinnati Bengals is to keep Joe Burrow upright. You gotta keep him on his feet where he's able to scramble and get a first down or find those weapons out there in a Chase and a Higgins and a Boyd and a Hurts and even Mixon. Like I said in the last video, Joe Burrow is key right now. And if you turn over Patrick Mahomes or they have to punt it to you, you have to capitalize, because we all know Patrick Mahomes can put points on the board in a hurry. And my keys for the Kansas City Chiefs is how hobbled is Patrick Mahomes. He looked noticeably uncomfortable in that second half, although he did scramble a couple of times and he threw a couple of dots to a wide open Travis Kelce. He's my key. He's the factor. If he can't move like he usually moves and find these open receivers down the field, it's going to be a long night for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Kelce needs to be fed. So if he's remotely open, if he has one guy on him, you have to try him.